Eileo guys, and welcome back. Today we have the lovely Jiyeon as our character analysis video, so let's go ahead and check her out. Let's quickly check out her lovely waifu costumes to see how adorable she is. I'm definitely a big fan of her character design. She's super duper cute. She kind of reminds me of Yuna from Final Fantasy X, but it might just be like her colors and maybe just the type of material that part of her equipment is made out of, but she's definitely aesthetic, and I didn't know that Lee was on the low Vic, Team Vic. But let's check out her exclusive weapon real quick before we check out her skills and her traits. So for her exclusive weapon, actually I have it right here. For every 24 seconds, the hero with the lowest HP gets a all defense buff by 15% for 8 seconds, and then that same target also recovers 10% of their HP. So essentially just having her out on the field, if anyone gets damaged and their HP is the lowest out of everyone, they'll recover 10% HP, and then they'll also have their defense boosted up for a little bit, which is nice to have. I mean, it's not game breaking, but I mean, it's nice to have, especially for pretty much the main healer of the game. There are other healers, but pretty much the main healer of the game. Now let's take a look at her skills though. Her ultimate skill, Healing Sanctuary, moves while levitating. This creates an AoE. I am 99% sure because I've seen it 100 times. And this move is essentially like an AoE that not only boosts everyone's defense by quite a high amount. I mean, mine's is nearly 60% of everyone's defense, but it also does HP recovery. At the moment it's only 7.7%, but 4 times, so we're looking at, you know, 28, nearly 30% HP recovery. And this has a 24-second cooldown, which again is nice, especially if everyone needs that. Her second skill is Healing Dance, spins on her spot, restoring her and surrounding allies HP. Recovery is 32.8%. I guess anyone near her. Again, quite a good chunk in my opinion. 12-second cooldown, you can't go wrong with that. And then her last move, Shining Flash, which is her only damage move, shoots an energy orb that inflicts damage on the first enemy it hits, then explodes. So this one creates maybe like a small AoE, decent damage on it, and the most important part is that it does lower the enemy's attack for 5 seconds by an okay amount. I mean, not OP, but an okay amount. This one has a 9-second cooldown. This is pretty much where her DPS or lack of DPS comes from. Her first passive just boosts her skill healing amounts for all of her moves that heal. Second one just raises her magic defense up, and then the last one boosts everyone's defense and then their defense towards crit damage up as well. Let's go over here, take a look at her traits. Her first trait, it has a cooldown of 50 seconds, and if HP falls to a certain amount, which is half of her HP, then actually no, half of anyone on your team's HP, not just hers, but if their HP falls to 50% or below, they'll automatically get healed 15%, and then they'll be invincible for 2 seconds. So again, very, very helpful if your tank somehow has to take a tank buster, if one of your DPS like Jago kind of gets clipped by an AoE because the AI wasn't smart enough to get him out of it. They get healed, they get 2 seconds, so hopefully you can heal them again so they don't die. 50-second cooldown, a little bit rough, but if you have the tank skill, not a tank skill, but if you have the awakening skill that already gives us invincibility for 2 seconds, paired with this, it should be, you know, it should result in some decent survivability. And then her second one, Come to Me, Accumulate Fury. So every 10 attacks minimum, someone, I don't think it's everyone, maybe it is everyone, but at least someone will recover 10% of their HP, which again isn't bad at all. She's pretty much the main healer of the game. I'm not saying that she is the best one out of the bunch. I mean, in terms of just raw healing with HP, yes, she is the best one out of the bunch, because all of her moves besides one kind of cater to healing. So don't really expect her to do any damage. She is purely just support, really. I mean, it's nice to have someone that can just do raw healing, because the other supporters are more built around not so much DPS, but more built around boosting one's attack, boosting one's defense, and giving a little bit of DPS here and there. But Lee is just pretty much healing. That's like her only role. She does a good job at healing, and that's it. And let's take a look at her ultimate first. This is her ultimate, and it travels around with her. and that lasts for a decent amount. I mean, it wasn't like revolutionary, but that lasts for a decent amount. This is her second skill, which again is another small AoE around her, which it just goes off in 10-second cooldown. You have to be within that AoE for the heal to work. And then her last is her DPS move, which is just like a straight line AoE. And then you can see there's a little AoE action, very, very little AoE action at the very, very end of that. I probably can't get none of that to hit. Okay, so we got that to hit. So she just sends out little, looks like bubbles when she attacks. Little shock bubbles. I mean, obviously they can't kill me because my CP is just way too high for them. And she cannot attack during that animation. And he's gone, man. He's gone. I mean, there's nothing really to her other than her healing. I'm not sure why anyone would play with her unless you feel like, I don't know, your Lee sucks. But once again, she's more dedicated towards just being your classic healer for this game. All she does is heal. She doesn't really bring anything else to the team. So, I mean, you can have Lee on your team. Obviously, I use her, but please bring her with another supporter, especially later on in the game. Like Jiyeon and Jiyeon or Aaron. Having two of those together is equivalent to having a Lee just about, but they provide a little bit more utility to the crew while she's just raw heals. So that's pretty much it for the Lee video, you guys. There's more on the way, so stay tuned and peace out.